This project will demonstrate how to make a simple sci-fi helmet by combining a paintball style helmet with an airsoft mask and some LED lights. I'm going to combine this paintball helmet with this airsoft mask to make a sci-fi looking helmet for our upcoming short. Both of these items can be purchased on the internet. So in this case search for paintball masks, and in this case search for airsoft masks. Step 1 is to remove the goggles from the helmet so that I can then superimpose the airsoft mask in the gap left behind. Removing the goggles leaves this big space where we can place the eye and cheek elements from the airsoft mask. The easiest way to cut the airsoft mask to shape is to put a piece of paper over the front of the paintball mask and draw out a template. That way you can get it correctly to size. So in this case what we want to do is go behind the nose piece and then keep within the confines of this obvious ridge. So I used a paper template to cut out the right parts of this airsoft mask so that it will fit into the paintball helmet. Make sure you leave sections on the side of the airsoft mask so that you can bolt it on to the side of the paintball mask. So as you can see on the sides of the paintball mask, if you leave a little section here, it will bend around, fit into this little valley here, and it gives you an ideal point to connect to the mask, which will keep the bolts away from the face. So you can see the eye section from the skull mask slots in nicely and fits in to the paintball helmet. Now you can drill holes through the top mask into the bottom mask to attach bolts, but don't attach the side bolts yet. So the reason I've left this out is because I'm going to add another element on top of this, and I found after constructing the mask that it was better to bolt through both pieces. The next part is quite difficult because you have to be very careful. So I've got these baseball cap lights. I'm going to cut off the plastic clips, but then I need to attach it to the helmet, and the best way I've found to attach these is to drill them. But if you're going to drill holes through something that is electrical or battery powered, there's a good chance that you're going to hit the wires inside. So firstly, don't put the batteries in until you've done this. Secondly, you can split these open and have a look inside, and if you're very careful you can find a hole on both sides where there are no wires, where you can place your drill bit and drill through so that you can retain the light function of the lights and still be able to attach it. Your other option would be to try and glue this to the side of the mask, but when I've done this before I find no matter which glue I used, the items always fall off, and since I'm going to be using this in a film which may well involve some action, the likelihood is that the props would get damaged and have to be constantly repaired, which is why I've opted for bolts. So please be careful when doing this. Do it when there are no batteries in, so it is not powered. Get someone to help you if you've not used a power drill before, and be very, very careful. So there are two holes drilled through the cap light. The first one will line up with this hole which connects through both masks, so it will hold all three pieces together. And the second one I've lined up so that it will go through this small slot in the side. So all I need to do is place this on the side here and then put bolts through all three pieces and it will hold it in place. Here's the helmet with the lights attached to the side, and these simply switch on and off with a little button at the back, so fully lighted, flashing, off. I want to keep this helmet quite simple because I like the way it looks now. So the final stages are to paint over the bolts with some black paint so that they don't stand out, and then I'm simply going to add a white stripe down covering one of the eyes. I've covered most of the face with masking tape and just left this single stripe down the side which I'm going to paint white. There's a couple of scars in the actual plastic mask. I decided I want to keep them, so I've also filled those with tape so that they won't get the white paint either. And here's the completed mask.